great espresso is always intentional. If you want your coffee to taste like your local cafe, then you need to dial it in. As specialty coffee roasters, we're here to show you how to make cafe quality coffee at home with your brand new coffee machine. My name is Tim, and as a coffee trainer with Pablo and Rusty's Coffee Roasters, I'm here to help you do that every step of the way. Let's dial in some coffee. Well, let's get into it and dial in our Porter Street blend using the Breville Duel boiler and the Baratza Sette grinder. Now, assuming your machine is turned on and you have the following equipment laid out ready to go, let's go ahead and place the single-walled double shot basket into the porter filter so we're at the same starting point. Our Porter Street blend is what we're using today, and it's our most popular espresso blend. You'll taste classic dark chocolate and malt flavors. It's easy to dial in, and it is the perfect and delicious base for any milk or alternative dairy coffee. Our Porter Street blend is a seasonal specialty coffee blend, meaning we select specific coffees from around the globe that score 80+ points. Now, specialty coffee isn't just a fancy title, it's part of a global certification process that qualifies beans at origin farms to be 80 points or higher. And all Pablo and Rusty's coffee is specialty grade coffee. Now, my Porter Street starting brew recipe is 21 to 22 grams of freshly ground coffee with a brew time of 25 to 30 seconds. After that time, we're aiming for an extraction of 42 to 44 grams of espresso coffee. My grinder today is set at 6. But things like the age of the beans that you're using and the temperature of the room can affect the way that your beans grind. So if your grind setting is a little different to mine, that's okay. It's all about coming to the perfect grind size for your machine after testing and tasting. Let's go ahead and grab our porter filter, and we're going to wipe it out so that it's dry, removing any of those old grounds from previous coffees. To activate the grinder, simply place the porter filter into the grind cradle and press play. While you're grinding, you can go ahead and press any one of these buttons here. That's going to purge your group head, it's going to warm it up, and it's going to get rid of any of those old coffee grinds stuck from previous coffees you've made. Once the coffee has been ground, to avoid making any mess or spilling and losing any of that precious coffee, simply tap your porter filter a couple of times against the workspace to settle the coffee into the basket. Then, let's grab our tamper and we'll place the porter filter on our workstation and tamp firmly. You're aiming to press down with at least 15 kilograms of pressure, and using your body weight to lean over the coffee as you tamp is the best way to ensure that. For the best results, try to keep your hand and your elbow aligned. The straighter, the better, giving you that nice even tamp. Let's now insert our porter filter into our espresso machine and press that double cup button for an extraction. Now, your first espresso drops could take up to 7 to 9 seconds to appear. The brew will start at a low pressure, and this is called pre-infusion. What it does is it slowly saturates the espresso bed to ensure a more even and sweeter extraction. After pre-infusion, you're aiming to achieve 9 bars of pressure on that pressure gauge, and that should occur if the dose and grind are correct. Extraction should be around 25 to 30 seconds, depending on what your coffee grind is set to. Well, I'm pretty happy with that. Let's give it a try. Absolutely delicious. It's got those dark chocolatey flavors and those malty notes. It's absolutely amazing. Are you happy with your shot? Well, let's dive into a few variables for you to think about when pulling your next one. Let's first take a look at the grind size. The main purpose of grind size is to slow down or to speed up the coffee extraction process on your coffee machine. In other words, the flow of water through the coffee bed. You don't have to be afraid of this step. The other variable to mention is the dose amount. For a double shot, we're using 21 to 22 grams of coffee as a starting point. When it comes to the extraction, if the water flow is too fast, your grind is probably too coarse, and the coffee can end up tasting quite sour. Alternatively, if the water flow is too slow, your grind is probably too fine and the coffee can end up tasting burnt and bitter. Take your time when trying to nail the water flow. Brewing the perfect cup of coffee at home is all about testing and tasting. Well, thanks so much for joining us as we dial in our Pablo and Rusty's coffee on your brand new coffee machine. For more information, check out the links in the description for all our coffee recipes and products.